Now here are the birthday gifts. So most of these books are from my parents, and most of them I asked for. So they were on my wish list. So the first is Speaking in Tongues by Carla Jay. And this book is an adult book about a speech language pathologist in rural Pennsylvania. She arrives in this backwoods town and she meets all these unforgettable characters. There's some sort of violent fugitive, there's a local fireman. There's just so few novels about speech language pathologists. And since I am one, I would like to get my hands on the ones that are available. So I'm checking this one out. Along the same theme, this next book is Mad Miss Mimic by Sarah Henstra. It is a historical novel set in London in the 1800s, and this 17-year-old heiress named Leonora is preparing to be presented to upper class society again. And she's really beautiful and she's going to be very rich, but she has a problem, and that is that she stutters. So, of course, again, I'm looking for books now that involve speech disorders, language disorders, anything involving or related to speech language pathology. So she stutters, but she is able to imitate other people's voices flawlessly. So they call her Mad Miss Mimic. And she apparently scares off a whole bunch of potential husbands. And then there's also some plot stuff going on in London at that time. There's an opium fever and this opium gang that's setting off explosions and all this kind of thing. So it sounds like there's a bit of an external plot to that as well. This next one is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. This one I've seen a lot of really positive reviews for. It's not necessarily a book I would normally pick up. It's, chick lit, marketed as chick lit. But I just saw so many good reviews, and it does sound like fun. This love-hate office romance, I think. And I'm really looking forward to checking this one out. Modern Romance by Aziz Ansari, one of the few nonfiction books I have received recently. And I've read it already. I had read it before I was given it, but I liked it. So it's really nice to have my own copy. I found myself relating to quite a bit in this book. It talks all about sort of what romance looks like in the modern era, and they go into online dating and what that's like, and sort of how romance and dating and all that has changed over the years, and it's really well done. Next up is Gilded Cage by Vic James. This one was one of my most anticipated debut novels of this year. Now, since it's been published, I have seen a lot of negative reviews and some positive reviews, I think, but it's been very mixed. So I'm a little worried about how I'm going to react, but I have it now, so we'll see. I definitely like the premise of this whole notion of this magically skilled aristocracy and then the commoners that serve them and the way that the society is set up. So we'll see how it is actually executed. Ember Island by Kimberly Freeman. This is one of these sort of dual narrative, I believe. Dual narrative historical modern books, sort of in the style of Kate Morton's novels. And I love Kate Morton. I'm a huge fan of her books. So I'm interested to see, if I can find some other authors that do the same thing, as well as Kate Morton does. We'll see. Sorcerer to the Crown by Zen Cho. This is another historical that's got magic involved. So it's basically Regency England with magic. So basically, England's magical stocks are drying up, and so the sorcerer Zacharias ventures to the border of fairyland, and he meets this woman who has immense power, and I guess it goes from there. A Field Guide in Awkward Silences by Alexandra Petrie. So this is basically Alexandra Petrie's story of everything awkward, I think, that she's experienced in her life. So she's a Washington Post columnist, and she kind of takes a look at her own life and the awkward things that have happened. And it sounds like it could be a lot of fun. Although there may be some secondhand embarrassment going on. I don't know. Small Great Things by Jodi Picoult. I've been hoping for a while that Jodi Picoult would write another book that involves more kind of ethical quandaries, gray areas, maybe lawsuits, legal battles, that kind of thing that she had originally written, because I've definitely enjoyed some of the stuff that she's written in the past. Because her most recent novels before this one weren't really in the same vein as the ones that she'd written before, I think. Like there was some one about elephants or something and kind of mystical communication. I don't know, I didn't read them. And now this one sounds like she's back to sort of classic Jodi Picoult with a really, really topical novel about racism in the U.S. And yeah, I'm a little scared to read this one because I think it's going to be pretty hard hitting, but I definitely am going to do so. And then lastly, from my friend, I received Pride and Prejudice, but it's this Pulp Fiction style cover, which I find hilarious. So it says, "Lock up your daughters, Darcy's in town." And he's smoking. And then it's got the like red edged pages. And the back says, "Mrs. Bennet is on a mission to marry off her 5 daughters to rich men. Enter Mr. Charles Bingley and his rather fit friend, Darcy. Love, loathing, and bittersweet romance follow." So, it's hilarious. I love it. And I actually needed another version of Pride and Prejudice because my current version is super battered. And so, this is awesome. So that is it for my book haul since Christmas, basically. And I'd be interested to get your thoughts on the books, if you've read them or you're looking forward to them, and what you think. Bye!